Welcome back, everybody. It's your boys, the Couch Casuals, and we're here to break down UFC 317. Ilia Topuria versus Charles. I'm your boy, Kyle. I'm here with my beautiful partner,
Robert Dylan Vasquez. What's up, guys?
Dude, this was one of the best pay-per-views of the year. It's the best of the year, probably.
Hands down,
so
yeah.
entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Every fight on the main card was entertaining. Some we'll talk about potentially fight of the year worthy. Big praise for 317. Legacy building for some. I do want to shout out Jack Hermanson, who, rest in peace, brother. He was brutally knocked out by RoboCop on the prelims, and then it just landed a fucking flying hammer fist after the dude was dead.
Yeah.
Herb Dean took a couple minutes off at mid-fight to just collect his thoughts while this dude was getting crucified.
Come on, man. He had a paper due tomorrow.
He was thinking, I gotta do something right now, right?
What do I gotta do? Come on, man. He's the gold standard. Stop it.
Is he?
I mean,
He might have been.
if athletes can depreciate and people will still back them, oh no, he's not old. His reaction time is still there. If you can critique an athlete, then you got to critique Herb Dean the same way.
Most athletes, people's lives are not literally in their
Theirs,
yeah, that's theirs. Herb's taking all these people's lives in their hands, and he's just like,
You don't think that sits on him a little bit? Free,
better.
Dude. Free Herb Dean, bro. No, I'm talking about the ones that the ones that he does well and no one talks about it.
He does very well a lot, but he has had some glaring.
He people's elbow Dustin Poirier.
He's had some. Dude, he needed a people elbow Jack Hermanson. He might still be alive today if it wasn't that fucking hammer fist.
I sure hope so. I hope the best for him, dude.
Yeah, well, he's not really dead, everybody, but you never know. They may not know. They may not have watched.
Shout out to the
It was
prelims.
brutal.
Yeah.
Look it up. But yeah, let's. You ready to break down this main card, dude?
Let's get into the main card, dude.
Let's do it, brother. UFC 317. Let me pull up the official scorecards here. And who started off the night? It was it
It's
Payton Talbott Lima?
Mm-hmm. There was that mix-up where you thought that one fight was going to be in front of the other. No, where
I was right though. You were wrong.
I was wrong.
But I still, I guess I'm just confused due to the whole thing.
Right.
UFC
So
317 is not loading.
What a banger! What a banger! Like we said it would be.
Solid opener. Payton Talbott and Felipe Lima went at it.
Oh yeah.
Felipe Lima looked pretty good against Payton Talbott. He was the favorite, so people, I guess, expected him to beat Payton Talbott after his loss. But
To shut him up. Fraud exposed.
Yep.
Come on.
Round one, Felipe Lima, I thought looked better round one. He was landing some big shots, but then the story of the fight, he kept going. He started his takedowns, which Payton Talbott defended so many takedown attempts. Very improved since his last outing where the takedown was his enemy.
Oh yeah.
At one point, Felipe Lima was 3 of 13 on takedown attempts. But Payton Talbott, I mean, Felipe Lima had the bigger moments early, but Payton Talbott just stayed calm. He just stayed collected. He was hitting him. Felipe Lima was concerned with the power of Payton Talbott. That's why he said he kept going for takedown. His coach, he's too strong or he's too powerful. He said something like that. And Payton Talbott never even really hit a big home run shot. So if the basic shots are too strong, that's very telling, I believe.
Sure, and like you gave praise, I guess we both did, but more so you gave praise to Joaquin Buckley, learning mid-fight. It's almost the point of having this experience. And if you're young and I got fraud checked, it's like, no, just learn from it. As long as you bounce back in your next fight, showing that you've learned more than you had before, And I'm not talking about small increments. Obviously, I'm praising like the huge ones that some are able, like Joaquin Buckley, to make mid-fight. You know,
which was insane in itself.
You don't have to lose and then do another camp or two with the, I lost. If you just, no, lost as bad. If you just try to learn mid-fight. You don't need that break. But he took that break, Payton did, and he learned from it, obviously.
He learned from it. I don't know how good Felipe Lima's takedowns normally are. I don't think I've ever seen him fight. I don't know if he's like, if that's typically his style or what. He hit Payton with some, what sounded like heavy shot.
Dude.
But it didn't seem to affect him. I was really shocked up until I heard the reasoning for the takedowns as to why. Only four, because Payton was stopping everything. And by the end of the fight, was literally laughing, like smiling.
Sure.
Beating on this dude. Payton Talbott's back in the win column if you didn't catch that so far. But, you know, it was a great comeback. I don't think people got to get over the fact that, like, these young guys are more than likely going to lose a fight at some point.
Well, they're allowed to lose. I think that's
that's
the thing.
for the better, honestly. Like, you learn a lot from a loss, you know, especially a guy who's coming in, thinks he's, you know, untouchable.
Oh, yeah.
I think a loss is best for you. Sugar Sean probably, and I'm not even, he's obviously been a champion, but had he taken a loss earlier in his career, he may have been better suited for Merab. You know, a little more prepped for it. But yeah, Payton Talbott's back in the win column. We're going to extend his contract moving forward.
Yes, sir.
That's what I like to hear.
What, a two or three fight extension?
Yeah, we'll give a 2-3 fight extension, see where he's at.
Sure.
Who are all our official fighters? We got Payton Talbott, we got Diego Lopez,
Teixeira,
Tyson Teixeira. I know what we're talking about, but I don't remember his full name. Taliesin Teixeira.
Yeah. We got so many fighters on the roster so far. So.
We're building a good roster, and I think we have a new fighter we need to sign in a couple of fights, but we'll get to that momentarily. Anything else you'd like to say about Talbott and Lima?
No. Two young guys. I hope they're in the sport for a long time. We need entertaining fighters.
Yeah, I mean, they put on a great show, so I'm excited to see Lima fight again. Obviously, I hadn't seen him fight before, so it'll be nice now that I know his name, that I know he can bang, and we'll go from there. Also, you need to start using Jungle Boy or Tarzan Boy track for your walkout song.
100%.
So over, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, the next fight of the night was Beneil Dariush'd versus Juanito Moicano. Money Moicano.
Dude.
He was not very money Saturday night.
I mean, that fight, it didn't feel like two top 10 155ers were fighting. And that's just
like one top 10 and someone who shouldn't be in the top 10. I'm not even trying to be funny. That's just the way it felt, you know?
Sure.
I said it while we were watching. I think Moicano, he had a little bit of a Jorge Masvidal moment where he got popular in the cage with his couple of nice knockouts, and then he gets super popular. He gets his chance at a title. But now we're kind of seeing like he was never really top 10 caliber. He's a fun fighter, pretty good, striker. But Beneil just kind of had his way with him. Whatever he wanted to do, striking, take him down. Beneil did everything he wanted to do in the cage Saturday night.
Sometimes when you fight a champ, which was on short notice, by the way. The shortest of notice, but you kind of get the rub. Kind of just like any ordinary arc in the UFC where some guy just comes up short and you can tell it's next level talent. He comes back knowing okay, that's what I got to get ready for. He did have a tough time with Makhachev. Hanato did.
Like anybody would.
Like anybody would. But you seen Beneil's not Makhachev.
No.
And so it's if you even got a rub, you gotta know okay, these are where my weaknesses are. This is what my cardio level's at. These are, this is where my level is. it just didn't show up. And so I'm not hating on him. You know, I respect anybody who goes in there and fights hard, but he just didn't have an answer for anything. Nothing wild. He didn't, you know. One of the things that I don't like about certain coaches is they'll be like, just stay calm, just stick on this game plan, and then be getting whooped for 14 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, man. Like, how about show him something crazy? Like I remember Tony Ferguson threw sand at Justin Gaethje. Show him something weird. Show him something like...
do something weird.
Unorthodox, out of the ordinary. That's why these orthodox fighters like DDP are winning, because you can practice in the gym 1-2s, and still, if a guy throws a wild, like Khalil Roundtree throws the standing fucking fist, and
it's very weird.
And that's just something that you don't see. So like, how can you get ready for something you don't see? Have an arsenal of like weird spinning back kick, or, you know, like, it doesn't have to be like a 360 tornado kick like you're a Power Ranger or something.
Yep.
But just show him something that he probably doesn't practice that much. And that's, I don't want to, you know, go on a rant here, but like that's what a lot of people prepare to. That's why it's called mixed martial arts. You have to be prepared for anything, but it's slight little setups that you can do, like the Leon Edwards head kick on Kamaru Usman. It's just how you're setting it up, and are you creating blind spots for these, you know, blows to land, all that jazz. Being said, I just think that you can't remain calm for too long. There is a panic mode. There is an adrenaline thing where it could be a last round. Fuck what my heart rate is at the end of the fight. I'm gonna give it my all. This is all I got. I don't know.
And when you mentioned cardio, for those at home, Moicano looked really gassed by round 2, and he had almost nothing going in round 3. Benil's like the most. I like Benil. I think his fights are pretty entertaining most of the time. Mm-hmm. So I don't say this with any disrespect, but Benil's got like the most generic, well-rounded, just safe style possible. Like, he's just a good fighter. He doesn't take too many chances. He's going to do what he needs to do to win the fight. Mm-hmm. And someone like Moicano, you're just going to have to spice it up. You got to get a little dirty in there. You got a little, not dirty, but you got to make it an ugly fight. Mm-hmm. And he didn't do that with Benil. Benil came off that 2-year hiatus, looked solid. I imagine he's looking for a top 5 fight next, possibly. Mm-hmm. I don't know who I think Benil's at like title or bust. Like, I think one loss, it's time to go. Moicano, you just look for fun fights, money fights. You had your title shot. Probably the only one you were ever going to get.
Well, yeah, maybe, but like, it's not how you want it. It's not how you picture it.
No, but like, it's either take that one or you probably never gets one. Otherwise,
I just don't see the path for him, which, you know, people fall out of fights and short notice fights.
Yeah, things change.
You can be on top in a short notice fight. It just depends.
Yeah.
As we see in this next fight that we're about to go to, short notice doesn't always mean a bad thing. I don't know what Moicano does. Hope the best for him. I think his mouth is going to get him in a lot more advanced positions than his performances, unfortunately.
I said it Saturday. You know, I see maybe like a nice little fight night, maybe. Feature. Right. Some like just striker, lightweight to go up against Benil. You know, we'll see what happens. Anything else you want to say about these two gentlemen?
Justin Gaethje, swallow your pride and fight Benil.
I think that's a fair assessment, Justin. You're not
just to stay busy. You're not going to get wrestled.
Yeah, you're not really in a title fight spot at the moment.
He thinks he is.
He thinks he is, but like, based solely on his name alone, he's trying to get in there. Let's. What is Justin Gaethje's record? Fiziev. Recent record. He beat Fiziev.
And that gets you a title shot?
He lost to Max right beforehand. Yeah, you gotta get another title ready. I think um, realistically Sarukian, but we'll get to who we think is who got the face off.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry. So we're going into Brandon Raw Dog Royval Joshua Van in a fight of the year. Banger from like every round was amazing. These guys were going at it. Brandon or Joshua Van starts the fight off round one, landed some heavy shots on Royval. Royval had a lot more volume, but Van had almost the same number of significant strikes in the first round, and they were much heavier, much stronger shots. Wins probably round one. Round two, Royval starts laying it on. He was getting three-piece combos left and right, punches and bunches, landing every single one. He was looking good, adjusted since the first round. Van was still landing some heavy shots, but the significant strike difference was significantly different in round two. Royval probably wins round two. Then we go into the final round. Boys laid it all out on the line, and it was really close. It was honestly, up until the last minute of that fight, I was like, this last round is like almost tied. How do you pick this round?
Right.
And Van gets a nice little knockdown on Royval, and that was pretty much the winning moment for Van by unanimous decision in a fucking banger.
I think they broke a record for punches thrown or amount of significant strikes thrown. It was over 200 in only a 3-round fight.
It was just so crazy. Let's see if I can get the official scorecard up so I can see the punch amounts here.
They were fighting like rock'em sock'em robots. Like neither fighter went anywhere. Like Royval was in his face.
Crazy.
He was in his face the whole time. And credit to Joshua Van not gassing out.
Joshua Van is 23 years old, brother. He didn't gas out. He was calm. He was collected. He took some big shots and kept going with them. Dang, where are the strike counts? UFC.com's let me down here.
One thing about it is, if he gets a title shot before the end of the year, which seems likely.
Seems very likely now, yeah.
He's in a position to break John Jones's record of youngest champion ever.
Is he? What was John's age?
It was 23, but it just depends on the dates.
Yeah. That's insane. I mean, both Pantoja and him both took a little bit of damage in these fights.
Just a little bit.
Be a little while, but it also arguably could be not that far out too.
At least into the year. Come on.
I cannot find strike counts for this fight, and it's making me so mad.
It'll be all right.
But like, Royval had to have thrown the most strikes in a fucking losing time.
I think you might be right, dude.
It was so many strikes thrown and landed too. That was the thing. It's not like he was whiffing. I mean, he whiffed a lot in round one, but after that, it was very cleaned up. He found inner.
Yeah.
It was just an amazing fight.
I think so. Shouts out to Josh Van. Kind of wanted to extend an offer.
Yeah, let's get him on the roster. You know, four guys. That's a good roster size right there for us. Joshua Van could be our first champion. We'll see. Like that's gonna be an interesting fight. Pantoja's very much a different animal at 135 than anyone else.
25.
I think 125. So we'll see. Do you got anything else you want to say about this amazing fight?
Other fighters fight like this.
Please. Everyone go watch this fight. If you didn't see it Saturday night, watch this fight.
Very good fight.
That fucking good. Crazy. All right, let's go into the only fight that was a tie for us. We are both 100% right up to this point, I believe. No, we picked did we pick Beneil or Moicano?
We picked Moicano.
Okay, never mind. We were stupid. Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara France in the co-main event for the flyweight title.
France.
Oh, my bad. Someone kept saying that to me the other night. I'm not sure who would, but yeah, Kai Kara France. I love Kai Kara France. He's a great fighter. He's a great striker.
Gave Pantoja some problems.
One or two problems, not a lot. Man, I was so sad, dude. Kai Kara France is just, I don't think he's ever going to be title holder at 125. I don't think it's likely.
Pantoja
is there a men's 115?
Not yet.
He could be the first one, dude. I think he 15.
Do you know Kai Kara France is a blue belt? In jiu-jitsu? In jiu-jitsu, he's a blue belt. You're fighting for the world title and you're a blue belt?
You've got to be better than that.
He's got wrestling credentials and he knows how to defend takedowns and stuff, but it's like he was saying in his interviews that everything that they do at City Kickboxing, when you break it up, they do more grappling than anything, more strike. And you're talking about a camp with Volkanovski, Izzy, like Dan Hooker, like
Volk is the only one of those people that has like any semblance of a ground game.
I just think it's what they're retaining, and like, okay, we do grappling more than anything. He coaches a rugby team. Kai knows how to grapple, and just for it to
not at the UFC level,
maybe in a specific jiu-jitsu level, because he does no gi, so it's not that, it's not like it's two different worlds of a gi and no gi. To lose in that fashion, I was just like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, like he
keep him off. Scramble like your life to keep him off.
Pantoja would take him down, and it was just like,
he's too good, man.
It's over. And honestly, Kai didn't even have much on the feet for Pantoja. Pantoja is like constantly pressuring.
Mm-hmm.
He's constantly in your face, and he looks exhausted. But I don't think he is. I think he fakes being caged because he always looks tired, but he never seems tired by his actions. And the pressure is overwhelming, and he takes you down, and he does what he wants to you. And he is legit one of the best flyweights of all time. He's dominant, man.
Sure.
I mean, he's beating everybody that's currently there. I don't know who has it for him. I hope our boy Joshua Van does. But I don't know.
When you have Kai Kara France and Brandon Moreno and the old buddy from One Championship or Ryzen, whatever he was,
Kyle Sakura.
Yeah, just all right. Brandon Moreno's great. Kai Kara France is good.
Yeah.
The other guy was a champion, yes, but you obviously seen that it wasn't anything close to a crossover kind of like, oh, this is the best of this organization. It's like the UFC is the best of the best. So if you're gonna beat Pantoja, you have to be Merab. I don't think anybody at 125 does it.
I just don't see it happening either, man. He's beating Moreno, who was like, that was the dude for a while. Royval, who just got beat by Van. Steve Urseg. What a fucking... Was Steve Urseg 301?
I think so.
It was. No wonder I don't remember that fight.
The missing episode.
Yeah, dude. Kai Asakura and Kai Kara France. I mean, I just don't... This dude's just on another level right now. I don't see it. I don't see what happened.
Maybe I don't see him moving up, man. I see him maybe doing the whole like recycle the division, but
yeah, I don't see him having anything for Merab at 135. So it's like, why don't move up? Just dominate your division. Just lap it if you have to.
Well, I think Figgy moved up too early.
Yeah, but I think he was tired of making the cut down to 120. I think he said it was too.
I think they all are. They all hate that shit.
Yeah, they do. I think some people some people just, it's not as much of a problem. Which I think everyone's body, you never know what's going on.
Sure.
So, like, who's next? Oh, well, we know who's next for Pantoja. That'd be Joshua Van. But outside of Van, like, who do you give? Amir Albazi? Manel Kopp? Tatsuro Taira?
You at least give Kopp the number 1 contender fight.
Yeah, let's have Kopp Moreno or something. I think that's even what's on. Is what's planned.
UFC Noche?
I think you're right. I think it's Noche. Dude, it's just Pantoja is just that dude right now.
Yay.
It is what it is.
It's fine, man. He got to finish. What more can you ask from the guy? You want him to RoboCop somebody?
Not much. I'm not, dude. All praise to Pantoja. He's legit. He's fantastic. There's nothing I can say bad about Pantoja.
Best of luck. Hope you get through your camp for Joshua Van, and I hope that you do your best.
We'll see. That's probably coming up in a few months.
I don't care about Pantoja. I couldn't care less.
He's got a cool nickname, dude. The Cannibal.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Moving on to our main event for the lightweight championship, we had Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. And I think he's here, dude. If you're not on the bandwagon for right now,
come on, man.
When do you hop on? This dude has knocked out 3 legends back to back to back. Volk, flatlined. Max, out. Oliveira, done.
Yeah.
Who has a resume like that right now?
Back to back to back, nobody.
That's insane.
You could argue that, John Jones,
right, yeah.
But, like, that's 2 different weight classes, 3 completely different fighters. Like, I don't know, they're different fighters, different fighting styles, I mean.
The styles are vastly different. No one there was very similar. Max and Volk are kind of similar. They both have really good boxing.
Sure.
Volk's a little more well-rounded. Oh, my God, dude. Ilia Topuria is him. That's all you can say. It is what it is.
He did some very him things this weekend, like celebrating the night before. Went out to a restaurant and was like, thank you guys for coming out and celebrating with me. Like, celebrating the victory. Not like, hey, we made it to the fight. Fight's going to happen. I'm going to get a lot of money. He's like, no, this is the dinner before the fight where we all knew I was going to become champion. There's the heartbreaking video of Charles's team watching, and they're all sitting on the couch, and they're like, ah!
Yes. Watching the knockout?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that.
I'll send it to you.
Later.
I'll send it to you.
Dude.
Yeah, it's just bad, man. It's bad, man. He is a bad man, dude. Came out smiling.
He's calm. He doesn't care. He looks so much smaller than Charles. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
It didn't fucking matter, dude. Charles took him to the ground. He stayed calm. He wrestled his way out of it, got it back to the feet, and then knocked him out. 1 round.
2-3. Just a fucking boom, boom. Arguably, we said it, and everybody and their mom has been saying it, that Charles gets hurt in all of his fights. All of them. Not just a couple.
Takes shots.
All of them. He could have took that 2, maybe, and turned it into like a TKO situation where he could have and then that 3 connects, and you just see just. But
it was out, lights out for Charles.
We were going crazy.
It was nuts, dude. You were stunned silent. I don't think you talked for a good 2 minutes afterwards.
I was heartbroken.
It was insane, bro.
I was upset, man.
Ilia Topuria is here. He doesn't care about who you like. He's here to take him. That dude is the Grim Reaper.
How rough. How rough for just hardcore fight fans, if you're at least a little bit casual, you know who Charlie Olives is. And you're like, he's family first. Everybody loves him. I've never really heard a bad word about him except that he's a quitter, and that was at a completely different weight class in a different era of his life.
Yeah, like completely different time of his life. That's not even, no one thinks that of him anymore. Everyone knows that's different. He comes out to Portuguese Creed every time. Dude.
Sure.
He probably thanked Ilia after the knock. Thank you for knocking me out, brother.
Probably. Like, hey, sorry I had to go like this, but I'm okay.
Lightweight might have a new king for a while. Might. We have a big fight. I assume is what's next based on what happens in the cage.
After the knockout?
Ilia Topuria. Yeah. Ilia Topuria versus Paddy the Baddy. I think this really is a huge test for Ilia. Paddy is a guy who potentially doesn't have the best line to the title. Like, without Ilia being the title holder, I don't think they make this fight right away.
Well, he needed one more. That's everybody's general consensus of like, he needed one more.
One more. But Ilia winning this because of the marketability of the feud jumps him right into that spot, which is fine with me. I don't care. Uh-oh, we got a call?
Hello? Oh, I fucking called it. I called it.
It made so much sense. You did. But
I don't think he's champ one more time. I don't think
Ilia?
No, he gets it taken from Paddy. I'm calling it now. We don't even have to watch UFC 322 or some shit whenever that fight happens.
Whatever number it'll be. It could be soon. Like, Ilia took no damage. They can sign that
at the end of the year
before the summer's over.
No, I sign it. Yes.
Yeah, I think they can sign that before the summer's over.
Mm-hmm.
Paddy's big. He's strong grappler. He's young. He's not. These last three guys, you could potentially say, because they were older, their chins weren't as strong. Paddy has a credible chin. If Ilia is able to knock Paddy out, that says a lot about Ilia. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen.
No, it says a lot. It does. It would, because Scousers don't get knocked out.
That's insane work. It's a big test because I think the size difference between those two guys is going to be significant.
Massive.
They're both young. It could be a totally different fight.
And they got beef. They got prior beef.
They got a lot of beef. Ilia with that little double title push.
And the fucking hand sanitizer boy.
Yeah, dude.
He's got that bottle in his gym. Paddy does. And he signed it. He's going to bring it to the fight week.
That's funny.
But this couldn't have gone any better for Paddy. The universes are aligning.
They're aligning for a big fight that makes sense, that's marketable, that's got beef.
But we're not talking about
really bringing numbers.
We're not talking about hand trucks through a bus window.
Yeah, not that much beef. We're not on that level of beef yet,
dude.
I suppose we could get there, but
Ilia vocally says, "I hate Paddy the bitch," or whatever he calls him. Yeah. Paddy to Brendan Fitzgerald and Chael Sonnen goes, "Yeah, I hate him. Like, I hate him. I hate him." So I think that there is real hate, but is it really real hate? Is it really that bad? Is it John Jones DC press conference?
I don't think it's John Jones DC, but like the fact that they were in separate weight classes, separate parts of their career when this beef started, maybe it is. There's some realness to it.
Congrats to both of them because you kind of knew Ilia was special, and Paddy was a hype train, and so it's like, okay, well, where are these guys going to be in 5 years, 3 years, however long it's been? And
in the main event together.
That's actually a tweet of Paddy's. They're like, yeah, this guy's going to lose. He can't even get on my prelims and blah, blah, blah. And ended up Ilia became Ilia. He became him. So, and then Paddy has had the fights to slowly but surely climb up the lightweight rankings. So it's like,
it's pretty crazy.
Credits to both of these guys for sticking to in the winning column. Yeah,
they have climbed together simultaneously, hate each other, on verge for a main event. The stars have aligned perfectly for these two careers for that to happen. I think it's obviously the way they're going. I've seen some fans, some hardcore fans are not happy about it, but it makes so much sense. Marketing, it's close enough in rank. It's a little bit of a stretch in rankings, but it's close enough.
Well, let's have some fun at lightweight. Everything's been depressing and ran by Islam for so long. Gray walls.
Yeah.
Let's have something fun. And then if you're a hardcore and you think Paddy's going to lose, good, then just get him out of the way. If you truly think that, if you think he's just going to be some easy speck on the career of Ilia Topuria, have him fight Gaethje or have him go up to welterweight and fight Islam there?
That's not. Ilia is clearly very talented, but he looks so small. He would look so small at welterweight.
His boxing is just so good. He can get in on those taller guys. Because he's got really good ins and outs. He does some kind of predictable movement. I've seen a couple of head dips in this in one of his prior fights where he actually gets caught with a knee and his mouthpiece comes out. Now that's ages ago, but he just likes to stay moving. So he's always, you're trying to hit him and you need the unconventional style because he's seen it all. Charles was in his grill. He was in his fucking Kool-Aid. And Ilia just boop boop. Like, come on in.
It didn't matter, dude. He welcomed two-piece, baby, and it was over. Just hats off to him, dude. This is gonna be a fun pay-per-view whenever they that one.
Probably in a stadium too.
It's a big name. It's probably one of their most marketable fights at least just for like the super casual, because there's some beef. Oh, there's that Patty guy. I know that Patty. Oh, this dude knocked out 3 legends? That's crazy.
It sells on a very casual level.
It does. I think it's a good one. 2 young stars. Usually the main events are much older people. Just the way it works out.
Sure.
2 young guys going at it. That could be fun.
And Ilia being, 28 years old? Is that what it said?
Yeah, I think he's 28.
I think Patty's our age, my age. I think he's like 30, almost 31. I'm just a little older than he is.
Let's see. I'll look it up real quick.
But like you said, like 2 young guys. Patty, if you want to be like that, isn't even in his prime yet. He's about to be 31 and has a whole other year and a half before he's like coming into his prime. Ilia's 4 years away
30.
From his prime.
That's a crazy thing to think about.
You said he's 30?
Yeah, he's 30.
Ooh, 30 gang.
Ilia, who I'm like 90% sure was 28.
He's 28.
I hope, whoever wins this fight, I hope they stay defending the title for a while.
Give me a Figgy versus Moreno. Have him go at it a couple times.
Fuck it. Justin Gaethje will probably get a run with.
I don't know.
Justin's like, we all love Justin, but I think he's another guy who is just like so close to being a title holder, but just not ever good enough. I mean, he had the interim title.
I think they put him in a box. They go, no, you're the pit bull. You have to fight like this. And so he is a really great fighter. I just think that he's like, well, no, I beat Fiziev. Give me a title shot. I'm not your dance monkey. I don't want to get in car crashes. I want to go out there and knock him out without getting touched. But you guys, well, you're not entitled to a title shot. Damn, am I not? I've put on some of your favorite fight. He's not. And I agree. But with him, it's got to be like, I've put on some of the most entertaining fights in the UFC. Took years off my life. Like, give me a title shot. And we're just like, nah, beat someone else up.
I mean, you lost to Khabib. You lost to Islam.
They're not around anymore.
But
you can kind of argue. It's like, all right, well, I haven't faced Ilia. Let me face Ilia for the title.
I'm sure that fight will happen at some point.
And then they go, no, Patty and him, when they got into a hotel scuffle, kind of.
Yeah, I'd feel bad if I was him too. I get it.
I'd be like, no, this is fucking bullshit. And then it's like, oh, we're not going to give you that fight, but we'll give you the fight right after. That Fiziev win will have been so long ago when they actually fight. You need to just stay active as you can.
Maybe not. Maybe it's someone at his age is like, I don't need the activity. I need to pick and choose my fights.
Then I would retire. Because the best you're looking at is
you retire. I can retire, or maybe a year from now I have a title fight.
I doubt it. We were just talking shit on Shavkat not being active enough, or Hamzat not being active enough.
Oh yeah, Hamzat's not been active enough at all.
And he's coming on a title shot. So to your point, yes, but it's like we don't justify that. And then you're not fighting, so we don't really. Oh, Justin Gaethje's a banger of a fighter. Yeah, he is, but it's like I would retire just because the best you're looking at is another Chandler fight, another Oliveira fight. I mean, who else is broken? I mean, Beneil. You can fight Beneil.
Yeah, that's not happening.
So it's like, come on, man.
I agree. That should be the fight for both of those guys, probably.
But in his case,
title eliminator.
In his case, Habib and Islam are Outsville. So let me jump into this fresh-faced title fight. He's got a point. We just don't. Like, if Patty wouldn't have got in there and Justin would have, I've been like, oh, I guess that's the fight. And then I saw Patty get in there, like, oh, shit, I guess that's the fight. That's what I wanted. Don't get me wrong, but.
Yeah, so you got Pat. We'll just go to top 10 real quick. Then Beneil at 10. Gamrot at 9. Usman Nurmagomedov at 8.
Hold up. What?
This is ESPN's top 10, so there's going to be outside of the UFC rankings.
Okay, sure.
UFC's website has been fucking with me today.
Sure.
We're using alternate resources.
Well, he's not fighting Usman.
No, that's not happening. Or maybe. Leonardo Moicano, I mean, that wouldn't be a fight he'd want. That dude's coming off a loss. That's not going to get him closer to the title.
No.
Dan Hooker, that's the fight I still want to see.
Sure.
Dan Hooker probably should be what happens.
That was originally slated. It was originally slated.
One of those two guys should fight for the title next, but that fight needs to take place. Patty at 5 are likely next. Dustin has his fight with Max, his final fight. So he's not gonna be in the rankings after next month. Oliveira at 2. Yeah, I don't know if I could just find the UFC one. Maybe I'd.
Well, Oliveira's not fighting for a while. He's got to heal from that knockout.
No, that knockout was nasty. There's no point. He's not getting a title fight anytime. Oh, Arman, you could.
I mean,
that
might be a fun fight. It might be an all right fight.
I mean, Gaethje, Sarukian, Hooker, something in there to get the next fighter up for the title,
right?
And you got Patty going at it. I don't know. Lightweight's up in the air
for Justin Gaethje. It's
up in the air for Justin Gaethje. It's not for. What a fucking knockout.
This is my favorite weight class. I'm so fucking glad something is coming that I've been waiting for. Like
155 is super fun, dude.
I mean, you're just like, all right, Arman versus Islam would have been an entertaining fight, and then Arman just shits the bed.
Arman's so dumb.
And so it's like Moicano, all right, cool. That's not really a fight I want to see. And then, Ilia, just as soon as it's sniffed that Ilia could be fighting Islam, they take that shit away from me. So this is my favorite weight class, has been for a long time.
It's a lot of people's.
I just think that I want something fun before we get back into the gloomy round robin of, okay, well, these guys have fought for the title once or twice. This guy came up short at the interim, and then he fought for the title against Charlie and got choked out. Let's see what he can do against Ilia. And it's like, all right, it's just not captivating. The story's not there. And I'm not saying Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria is cinema, but just for either of their careers
to build off of,
and what it could do for either of their careers. It could fraud check Paddy, or it could send him into, if he beats Ilia. He's came in with this lackluster, like, oh, he's from Cage Warriors. He doesn't know how to do this or this. He lost to Jared Gordon. This is sloppy. This is this. People, they only seem to have negative things to say about Paddy. And he just keeps shutting him up. So it's like, imagine, it's like, well, he's not that good. Well, don't say that, because if he beats Ilia, this whole thing is, so you have to put some respect on his name. But if he goes out there and gets beat bad, knocked out, wrestle fucked, I don't really see that happening. But he's so long, and he plays on the outside. He's not going to be in your face like a Charlie Olives or like a Michael Chandler. But you see what happens when there is pressure forward on Patty. He's got great footwork. He knows how to keep you on the outside. And Charles got Ilia down. One of the best wrestlers in the whole division, Michael Chandler. I watched him take Dustin Poirier and squat him. Squatted Dustin Poirier, one of the strongest dudes. And Patty just picked him up and threw Michael Chandler around. And aged or washed Michael Chandler, whatever, the strength is still there. That's one of the last things you lose.
The Patty thing was, Patty versus Michael was like the most, Patty was like, he did to this dude which none of the other guys really could. I mean, Dustin did eventually get the sub, but it was a very back and forth, grueling fight. Mm-hmm. Charles Oliveira had his issues with Michael Chandler.
Got dropped.
Patty dominated Michael Chandler.
Just bad.
Like, no bones about it. So he's there. If you do the MMA math, which doesn't, but if you do it, Patty's just as good as these guys and deserves to be where he's at. So
I think so, man. You have to give him the respect, because if a fighter that nobody believes in and just like, whatever, he's a bum, he's this, he goes out there and beats Ilia, you can't do that, because Ilia is showing us, I don't like it, but he's so good, dude. He's fucking good. He's up there, man. You have to put him up there. You have to.
He's got to be top 5 pound for pound right now.
I mean, he's somehow, with his last 3 performances, etched his way into history. You can't talk about the greatness of Max Holloway, Volkanovski, or Charles Oliveira without being like, oh, but Ilia beat him. Is
that the greatest 3-fight
win streak
of all time?
Mm-hmm. Not all knockouts. All knockouts.
All knockouts. What round did he knock Max out? I can pull it up.
3. I'm guessing. It went on a while.
Volk in round 2, Max in round 3, Charles in round 1. He never made it to championship rounds with any of these legends. Mm-mm. He cleaned them out. No questionable stoppages in any of these fights.
No.
All
stop
very
the fight.
much.
Stop.
Yeah, Dan Hardy, stop the fight. Very much dominant performances. We remember the Josh Emmett knockout.
Mm-hmm.
He chokes out Bryce Mitchell. He's knocked out Jai Herbert. Ground and pound Ryan Hall.
The Ryan Hall one was good. The only time I was ever in Ilia's corner for any fight is midway through the Ryan Hall fight. And Ryan Hall was butt scooting and trying to catch him. And we're just like, fucking stop. It was like 40 attempts. And Ilia just like...
Scoot. So stupid, man.
And so he just like catches him and he's boom, pounds his head into the fucking canvas. And then I don't know what I saw to make me change my tune. But I did.
Dude, this dude he's the real deal.
It was the Patty thing. That's what it was.
It's got to be the Patty thing.
It was the Patty thing.
I don't dislike Ilia at all. I just hate he's killed a lot of my favorite fighters. But he's mostly very respectable outside of his cockiness.
Yeah.
I mean, he's cocky, but he's also like, hey, I told you. I'm just that good, and that's really all there is to it.
He did.
I saw the clip. He was like talking about, how good he is. And he's like, I know that sounds crazy. I know I sound cocky, but I've just realized it's the truth. I'm just that good. How can you say?
I think he's spiked really early in his. I mean, he could have another 8 years on his career if you really want.
He really could. If he wants to be known as potentially one of the greatest of all time, he's on a trajectory to do so.
Oh, yeah. Easy. the Patty thing, like I said, one could argue, oh well, Patty, if he loses, he's fraud checked, and it's good on his record. And then you go into his next fight, there's always gonna be a next guy, always. And if
there's always gonna be somebody.
If Dana lets Ilia go up to 170 and fight a 200-pound Islam Makhachev, I mean that's David and Goliath right there.
It really is.
And I know that it's not an exact weight; it's what he would rehydrate to, I imagine. Being at 170, he'd be like all of 190 something. He's already been at that weight before, just walking around.
Ilia or Islam's weight walking around?
Islam's weight walking around. I heard that Ilia was walking around about 190. Not night of, just on his free time, like just.
Yeah.
You're like, how did this guy ever make 45?
Did you see the difference between Ilia and Charles weigh-in?
At the weigh-ins?
Ilia looked fairly healthy. Like, he did look a little on, obviously. Like, he looked mostly normal. Charles looked like he was on death's door, as he always does.
Yep. Well, I think he started the weight cut too early.
That's very possible.
I think
he did. He started doing the dehydration like the night, two nights before.
2 nights before. And I think Volkanovski came out. He's like, you shouldn't be doing that yet.
Yeah, that's what's going on here.
I don't know, dude. That could have attributed.
Maybe Olives goes up to 170. You don't think so?
That's like walking into a haunted house. Because the best thing that could happen is you get a rematch with Islam.
Yeah, that's not gonna go your way. What do you do as Olives? Like, I love Charles Olives.
You fight Justin Gaethje again. That's what you do. You just keep deteriorating that chin until you literally walk around like a beardless Hamzat, and it's just,
dude.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Breaks my heart.
Ilia's here. I don't see any of the old guard stopping Ilia anytime.
It's gonna take another new guard. It
really is, dude. The legends we've seen at 155 that were fighting for the. It's not. That's over. That's over. No more of those guys. It's gonna be new blood at 155.
That's it for UFC 317 main card, dude. It
was amazing.
It was amazing, and other cards. Our next one's not too bad, dude. Top heavy, yes, like you said, top heavy.
It's very top heavy, but I think I saw too early of a card when I last looked.
You saw some life. You saw some life.
There's a little bit of life. There's a lot of no names on this. I say no names, people that I've not even heard of. You got Max versus Dustin, which in itself is gonna be worth the show. Like that's a banger. The last time they fought, potential fight of the year.
Retirement fight package at the very end. Shine bright like a diamond. They're gonna have the video, dude.
Dustin is getting the treatment no one in the UFC has ever had. Like no one's ever had a card built on retirement like this. Not that I can. I mean, Robbie Lawler had a big moment, but he was like second fight on the card, third fight. Like it wasn't the main event. Dustin Poirier is going out as the event for the BMF with Max Holloway, two legends.
Which shouldn't count. Ilia's got the BMF.
Ilia technically.
He beat the BMF champion by knockout. How is he not the BMF? How does Matt? Oh, the belt wasn't on the line. Shit, it wasn't. It's always on the line.
BMF is like the belt for the second place.
God.
Anyway, as of this right now, do you know what your co-main listing is on ESPN?
No, I don't.
Atiba Gauthier versus Royval.
Yeah, all right. So you're out here for CCMMA 317 post show. Anything else you wanted to talk about? How about Sean Strickland and his partner Curtis? What's his name?
Curtis. Is it Hayes?
Something like that. They jumped a fighter in mid cage, like not a UFC event at like a lower promotion.
Why?
Chris Curtis. Is that it?
Chris Curtis. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
This guy gave him the fucking. He beat his boy, fucking by choke, and then gave him the suck it.
Oh my god!
And they both jumped in. Look for your guys. Look for yourselves. I believe it's on Homa Fight. I think that's who they got it on Instagram. Sean Strickland and Chris Curtis, they both jump into the fight and they start swinging on this guy because he straight up beat the boy, looked in the corner of both of them and just gave them the hardest I think he jerked off too. He jerked off and then gave him the DX. So don't wild out like that. We're trying to spread the sport in the most positive way. Don't make it look like a bunch of cockfighting, please, boys. Can you calm down?
We should really shout out something on a more sad note. Anyone, what's going on with old Funky Ben Askren?
He just got denied an insurance claim for a double lung transplant, but
he's doing very poorly. He just contracted pneumonia.
Is an infection with pneumonia.
Infection pneumonia. It's really beating him up. Obviously, he was up for potential double lung transplant. It's been that bad for him.
It got approved, so he has a donor of a double lung transplant. So it should be,
shout outs to Ben Askren. He's got memed on, but he really is a bit of a legend in the sport at one. Dominant wrestler.
Oh yeah.
Just sad. He's a funny guy. He's an entertaining guy. So, even if he wasn't, it's sad. So, hope he gets that done, and all the best to Funky Ben Askren.
Shouts out, prayers up, dude. Anything else, Kyle?
I think that's it for me.
You guys are watching CCMMA. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, engage, comment, whatever you guys want to do. We are going to have new content soon, and shouts out to you guys. We have a post show with hundreds of views now.
Hundreds. We can literally say we have an episode with hundreds of views, even if it's just 300.
What episode you say? You said Dinky Down Under had 9?
Yeah, I saw like a flashback from an episode 1 year ago. Dinky Down Under, which I remember that name. It had 9 views. Now we're like pulling in close to 100 per view, which is really cool.
Hundreds.
So, let's next goal 500.
Shout out to you guys for real.
Yeah, thanks to whoever's watching.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I'm your host, Robert Dylan Vasquez, with my sexy host.
It's your boy, Kyle DiOrio. We'll see you next time.